Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Wildlife Wisdom. So far, I've been your host, Zero Yeti, and happy spoopy season. As is tradition for this channel around Halloween, I'm going to be covering 7 animals that my friends, family, and colleagues find kind of creepy and unnerving, starting with the Humboldt squid. Or Dasydichus gigas. It is also known as the jumbo squid, the jumbo flying squid, the pota, the diablo rojo, the calamar gigante, or the gibaya. Is a type of large predatory squid and the only known species in the genus Dasydichus. They are native to the eastern Pacific, having historically occurred from Tierra del Fuego north to California. Though in recent years these cephalopods have begun traveling further and further north to as far as British Columbia and Alaska. They typically occur around 660 to 2,300 feet or 200 to 700 meters in depth, but often travel to the surface at night. These cephalopods often travel together in shoals of up to 1,200 strong and feed mainly upon fish, crustaceans, cephalopods, and copepods. The squid uses its barbed tentacle suckers to grab its prey and slices and tears into the victim's flesh with its beak and radula. While Humboldt squid often work together to hunt prey, they are also known cannibals, which regularly attack injured or vulnerable squid in their shoal and feed upon them. Reaching around 5 feet or 1.5 meters long and 110 pounds or 50 kilograms in weight, the Humboldt squid is the largest of the Omostrephid squids. Yet despite their large size, these squids are capable of regularly cruising at speeds of upwards of 15 miles an hour or 24 kilometers an hour, thanks to their powerful jet siphons and 2 triangular fins. Like other members of the subfamily Omostrephinae, they possess chromatophores, which enable them to quickly change body coloration. In a process known as metachrosis, they signal to other squid by flashing between colors at 2 to 4 hertz. Said flashing can be modulated in frequency and amplitude in phase synchronization with each other. When spawning, Humboldt squids lay gelatinous egg masses that are almost entirely transparent and float freely in the water column. Said masses may vary in number based off of the size of the mother, for anywhere of 5,000 eggs to 4.1 million eggs. Under ideal conditions, a Humboldt squid may live upwards of 2 years. Next up is the Celebes crested macaque, or Macaca nigra. It is also known as the crested black macaque, the Sulawesi crested macaque, the black ape, the yaki, or the woolly. It is an old monkey. Is an old world monkey that lives in the Tongkoko Reserve in the northeastern tip of the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, as well as on smaller neighboring islands. They inhabit rainforests and typically spend their days on the ground, socializing and searching for food, such as fruit, leaves, buds, seeds, fungus, small birds and bird eggs, insects, worms, snails, and the occasional small lizard or frog. They spend their nights resting high up in the trees, and black macaques are a very highly social species, which lives in groups of around 5 to 25 individuals on average, though occasionally groups of up to 75 may occur. Smaller groups often only have a single adult male, while larger groups can have up to 4. However, adult females always outnumber adult males by a ratio of around 4 to 1. Reach around 17 to 24 inches or 44 to 70 centimeters in body length and 8 to 25 pounds or 3.5 to 10.5 pounds in weight. It is one of the smaller macaque species, and the body is black, covered with rough, thick, and woolly fur. The black face of the primate is coated in a dense layer of hair. Compared to other macaques, their skull is more projecting and baboon-like. Hairs on the top of their head compose a crest facing upwards and backward. On the rear, they possess a distinctive kidney-shaped, bright pink ischial calliocytes. On the rear, they possess the tail is short and in the form of a nubbin. The Celebes crested macaque is a promiscuous species with both males and females mating with multiple times with multiple partners. Sorry, my vision's going a little bit blurry. It's hard to read. The receptivity of females is clearly indicated by extreme swelling and redness of their buttocks. After a 174-day pregnancy, a mother typically gives birth to a single offspring, which she will nurse for around a year. Under ideal conditions, the Celebes crested macaque will reach sexual maturity around 3 to 4 years of age and live up to 20. Next up is Mastigoproctus giganteus, more commonly known as the giant whip scorpion, the giant vigaroon, or the grampus, is a species of whip scorpion in the family Thylaeophonidae, which is endemic to Mexico and southern United States, from as far west as the Baja Peninsula to as far east as Florida, and from Oklahoma in the north down to central Mexico. They typically inhabit deserts, scrublands, dry forest grasslands, and arid mountain ranges, and are primarily solitary nocturnal species which spends its days inside of burrows or hollow logs or inside of rock crevices, and emerging at night to feed upon various insects, worms, millipedes, scorpions, slugs, and small toads or frogs. Giant vigaroons are themselves preyed upon by large toads, raccoons, coyotes, armadillos, skunks, bears, hogs, and peccaries, ground birds such as roadrunners, lizards, and tarantulas. Reaching around 1.5 to 2.5 inches or 40 to 60 millimeters in length, not including their tail, giant vigaroons sport 8 eyes, and they have 6 legs used for movement, 2 long antenniform front legs that are used to feel around for prey and detect vibrations, and 2 large pedipalps which have been modified into claws that they use to crush their prey. Additionally, they sport a long, thin, whip-like tail, which is the origin of their name, the whip scorpion. From the base of this tail, they can spray a substance composed of 85% acetic acid in order to defend themselves. Acetic acid is the main component of vinegar, so the spray smells strongly of vinegar, leading to the common name vigaroon, or vinegaroon. The mating season occurs in autumn, during which time females will actively seek out males. After mating, females will carry the fertilized eggs internally for a few months before laying some 30 to 40 eggs in a fluid-filled sac, which she then carries on her abdomen for another 2 months until they hatch. After hatching, the mother will then carry and protect her babies for an additional month until their first molt when they set off on their own. Under ideal conditions, a giant vigaroon will reach sexual maturity around 3 to 4 years of age and move upwards of 7. Next up is the Atlantic wolffish, or Anarchaeus lupus. Let me just see. Also known as the sea wolf, the Atlantic catfish, the ocean catfish, the devil's fish, the wolf eel, the woof, or the sea cat, is a marine fish in the wolffish family Anarchaeonidae, which is native throughout the North Atlantic Ocean, with the densest populations occurring on the Georges Bank, the Gulf of Maine, the Irish Sea, the Denmark Strait, and the White Sea. It is a benthic-dwelling cold-water species, which is a primarily stationary animal that inhabits seafloor nooks and caves around 66 to 1,640 feet or 20 to 500 meters in depth. They prefer temperatures of around -1 to 11 degrees Celsius or 30 to 52 Fahrenheit, and in order to survive such cold temperatures, their body contains a natural antifreeze. Atlantic wolffish are uniquely adapted to use their strong jaws to crush and crack open the shells of mollusks, crustaceans, and echinoderms, and are a vital predator of sea urchins, green crabs, and starfish. Reaching up to 5 feet or 1.5 meters in length and 40 pounds or 18 kilograms in weight, the Atlantic wolffish has retained the bodily form and general external characteristics of small blennies, albeit just on a much larger scale. Its body is long, subcylindrical in the front and compressed on the caudal portion, smooth and slippery with rudimentary scales being embedded into the skin. The Atlantic wolffish vary in color, usually as a purplish brown or a dull olive green, but they also are typically a bluish gray. In even dorsal fin extends the whole length of the back, and a similar fin from the vent to the caudal fin, as in blennies. The pectorals are large and rounded, and the pelvic fins are entirely absent. An obtuse eel-like body type makes this fish swim slowly, undulating from side to side, thus like an eel. The Atlantic wolfish's distinguishing feature, from which it gets its common name, is its extensive teeth structure on both the lower and upper jaws that are armed with 4 to 6 fang-like strong conical teeth. Unlike most fish, Atlantic wolfish perform internal fertilization and form close-mated pairs in which both parents care for and guard their nest of eggs, which they build out of seaweed and stones. After hatching, the young will stay with their parents for up to 4 months and until they are strong enough to gain independence. Under ideal conditions, an Atlantic wolfish may reach sexual maturity around 6 years of age and may live upwards of 20. Next up is the redback spider, or Latrodectus hasselati, also known as the Australian black widow. It is a species of highly venomous spider which originally inhabited the deserts of southern and western Australia, but is now found throughout Australia, Southeast Asia, New Zealand, New Caledonia, with isolated colonies having been found in Japan, England, Belgium, the United Arab Emirates, and Iran. These spiders are a primarily nocturnal species which likes to inhabit dry forests, scrublands, and deserts, but have become increasingly common in urban areas over the last several decades. Their webs are usually built in dark, dry, sheltered sites, such as amongst rocks and logs, tree hollows, shrubs, inside of buildings, abandoned vehicles, mailboxes, garbage cans, wood piles, brick piles, and other rubbish and litter. Redbacks usually prey on insects but can capture larger animals that become entangled in their webs, such as trapdoor spiders, small lizards, mice, frogs, and on the rare occasion even snakes. Redbacks are themselves preyed upon by black house spiders, cellar spiders, giant daddy longlegs, and several species of wasps, particularly the spider wasp. Reaching around 0.4 inches or 10 millimeters in length, female redbacks are easily recognized by their spherical body with prominent red stripe on the upper side of the abdomen and hourglass-shaped red or orange streak on the underside. In contrast, male redback is around 0.12 to 0.16 inches or 3 to 4 millimeters in length, and is light brown with white markings on the upper side of the abdomen and a pale hourglass marking the underside. The redback is one of the few spider species which can be seriously harmful to humans, possessing a predominantly neurotoxic venom, which it gives rise to the syndrome latrodectism in humans. This starts with pain around the bite site, which is typical and becomes more severe and presses up the bitten limb and persists for over 24 hours. This concurs with sweating in localized patches, nausea, vomiting, headache, and agitation. Thankfully, anti-venom has been available since 1956, and today deaths are incredibly uncommon. The redback is one of a number of arachnids that usually displays sexual cannibalism while mating. After mating, the sperm is stored in the spermacathe organs of the female reproductive tract and can be used for 2 years after to fertilize several clutches of eggs. Each clutch averages around 250 eggs and is housed in round, white, silken egg sacs until hatching. Under ideal conditions, a redback spider will live up to 3 years. Next up is the Central African rock python, Python cebidae. It is a species of large treacherous snake in the family Pythonidae and one of the 10 living species in the genus Python. They are native throughout the whole of sub-Saharan Africa, from Senegal east to Ethiopia and Somalia, and south to Namibia and South Africa. Additionally, they have become invasive in the Florida Everglades. They are found throughout a wide variety of habitats, including forests, wetlands, savanna, grasslands, semi-deserts, and rocky areas. It is particularly associated with areas of permanent water, such as around the edges of swamps, lakes, and rivers. They are generally solitary, non-venomous species, which, like all constrictors, kills its prey by tightly wrapping around it and slowly crushing it by tightening its coils every time the victim breathes out. The African rock python is known to feed upon fish, amphibians, rodents, primates, warthogs, antelope, birds, bats, lizards, crocodiles, goats, dogs, sheep, jackals, hyenas, and big cats. On average, Central African rock pythons reach around 9.8 to 16.4 or 3 to 5 meters in length and 97 to 121 pounds, or 44 to 55 kilograms in weight. However, individuals reaching upwards of 24.6 feet, or 7.5 meters, and 214 pounds, or 95 kilograms in weight are not unheard of, thus making the Central African rock python Africa's largest snake. African rock pythons have relatively small triangular head that is covered in irregular scales that are typically blackish to brownish gray in color. The head also has two light-colored bands that form a spearhead shape and from the snout to the back of the head just above the eyes, as well as a yellow inverted V under each eye. The body is yellow, gray-brown, or gray-green in color with dark blotches that form a staircase-like pattern on the back. The belly scales are white in color with black specks, producing a salt and pepper pattern. Mating occurs in the spring, after which time a mother python will typically climb inside of an old animal burrow, termite mound, or cave and lay around 20 to 100 hard-shelled elongated eggs. The female shows a surprising level of maternal care not typical for snakes, cooling around these eggs and protecting them from predators, and possibly helping to incubate them until they hatch around 90 days later. She then spends up to 2 weeks protecting and caring for the hatchlings, and under ideal conditions, the Central African rock python will reach sexual maturity around 3 to 5 years of age and live up to 30. And our extinct animal is the Californian turkey, or Melanogrus californica. It is a species of turkey that lived throughout the west coast of North America during the Pleistocene and early Holocene epoch, some 2 million to 10,000 years ago. First remains known to belong to M. californica consist of a partial skeleton were unearthed from the La Brea tar pits by one Dr. Miller in 1909, who originally described them as a type of peafowl and placed them in the genus Pavo. Years later, Miller would reclassify it as an intermediate between the Indian peafowl and the ocellated turkey. Today, the California turkey is the most common bird found in the La Brea tar pits, with over 700 individuals having been recovered. It has been determined to be a close relative of modern extant wild turkeys, and reaching around 28 to 45 inches, or 70 to 114 centimeters in length, and 5 to 20 pounds, or 2.26 to 9.07 kilograms in weight. The Californian turkey was a smaller yet stockier bird compared to modern wild turkeys and sported a shorter, wider beak. In life, California turkeys would have lived in familial flocks, which spent their days foraging on the ground or climbing shrubs and small trees to feed upon acorns, nuts, pine cones, seeds, berries, buds, leaves, ferns, roots, fruit, insects, small amphibians, and reptiles, while themselves being prey to a litany of predators such as dire wolves, foxes, coyotes, bears, lions, jaguars, cougars, saber-toothed cats, eagles, falcons, hawks, badgers, and territorns. The extinction of the Californian turkey is thought to have been caused by a combination of severe drought and overhunting by humans. As always, take care to my guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Have a wonderful day.